Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dalia and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day today. So today we are doing another speed build. If you can tell by the title, it is going to be a Sunken Waterfalls speed build. I will be doing it right here where my old mini village used to be. So without further ado, let's just get started on the speed build. So before we can even really get started, I did have to clean up the area a little bit. Probably should have done this beforehand before the video started, but I was eager to get started on this build and didn't really get a chance to. But I'm just going to quickly whiz through all of this to spare you guys having to watch me just clean up a bunch of trees and flowers. But yeah, after doing that, we're going to start terraforming by removing the river to the left of the build. So before I even get started on this build, I just want to say that it was highly inspired by two individuals, both Lex Play and Toffee here on YouTube. Not only are their versions of their Sunken Waterfalls and Sunken Rivers amazing, but their videos in general are fantastic and I always find tons of inspiration from them. So I'm going to link their two videos down in the description below, so please give them a check out if you haven't already. So with that being said, the next little bit is just going to be me terraforming the area to get prepared for the build. This was a very large project for me and it did take place over a few days, so you will see the time changing like throughout the video. I didn't have to move any buildings or anything like that, but there is a lot of terraforming that gets done, and halfway through my build, as I will show you guys later, I do change my mind about how I want one of the two areas to look. So you'll see that in a little bit. So as you can see here, I basically decided to do two separate areas connected by a natural bridge. I've always wanted to include a natural bridge on my island somewhere, and I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted to do it, but I figured that this project was a good opportunity as any. So I just spaced out how big I wanted the two areas to be. I decided to make them even in shape, which I actually do end up changing later on in the video, as you will see. But yeah, so this is me doing some horrible water terraforming, trying to decide how I want the water in each of the two sections to look. I also hope that you enjoyed watching me try to get around the pond here and having to resort to using the pole vault to do it because I couldn't figure out another way to get across the river. So also, as you can see on the right side there, I do leave a space open where the waterfall and the water is meeting because I want to extend the river out into like the rest of the area to lead to the ocean. So that's why you will see by the end of this video that that area is still open and I didn't terraform or do anything with it. after I was finished with the water terraforming for the time being, I moved over to building up the 3rd tier level where I will be placing the waterfalls. This, much like most of this build, was a lot of like trial and error trying to decide what worked best. And that is where you'll see on the left side of the build that I do end up changing my mind and completely terraforming and changing it. This is the part of the video that I did over 2 days, and what I thought was really great about it is after I finished terraforming on the first day, and then I came back to it on the second, I had a pair of fresh eyes, and because of that I was able to decide what I really wanted to do and what worked best. So this area here that I'm building right this moment completely changes because I decided that I didn't want the 2 areas to just be like waterfalls that are like straight in front of you. I wanted one of the 2 areas to curve around onto the side, so I decided ultimately to do that on this side. So most of this terraforming that you see here I just get rid of completely, but I also wanted to include it to show you what I had initially done. I think doing all the water terraforming together took maybe like 3 or 4 hours for me. So having to cut a lot of it out, obviously, so this video wouldn't be like a year long. Water terraforming is so challenging to me, and the fact that so many people are so good at it, like I have props to you because I am not at all. So a lot of the terraforming you see here is a lot of like me trying things out to see if they look good and then deciding they look awful and getting rid of them completely. But yeah, ultimately I think it came out okay at the very end. I'm really happy with the final build. I never thought I'd be able to do anything like it, and I hope that you like it as well. This is the path I ultimately chose to use for my natural bridge. I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping it. I was looking for quite a long time for alternatives and I couldn't find anything that worked quite as well. So I usually really like the way that it looks, especially when I add the logs later on to make the railings. But I'm still not 100% sold on it, but let me know what you guys think. I definitely think adding the log stakes here makes it look really nice. And I like the way that the colors of the different browns complement one another. But yeah, definitely know if you guys like this one or if maybe I should go with a different path. So this here was day 2 of building, and this is when I had decided to change the left side of the waterfalls. I already did a little bit of terraforming here just to save you guys some of the time, but as you can see, I like build the area up a little bit more to kind of like curve it to the left and make it more round as opposed to just straight in front of you. And I really like the way that it looked the second time around as opposed to the first. Much like most of my builds, there was a lot of trial and error here to get the waterfalls the way that I wanted them to. So I did change the area up a little bit here and there, as you'll see. But ultimately, I'm actually extremely proud of the way that it looks. Like, this is kind of like what it looks like in the finished product. I do change a little bit more, but ultimately, I'm really, really happy with the final look. So as you can see, a few hours had passed. I had just taken a short break to get a bite to eat. And then I did a little bit of terraforming and moving things around. I decided to move the little cafe that was over by the left to the right. I still wanted to keep that area because I really liked the way that it looked, but I decided it would look best on the right-hand side. And then I started messing around with the path a little bit and then trying to determine where I wanted to plant some of the trees. My previous video, my most recent Let's Play, I decided to choose to use this path for spring, and I'm still trying to decide a few different paths that I want to use. I have gotten rid of a few, including the stone circle that I was using, just because I felt like I wanted to go with a more natural, like dirt type of path as opposed to using stone. So this one will be the one that I am using, I believe, for all my upcoming builds, but of course anything could change and nothing is 100% certain. I will leave the QR codes for all of these in the description below, like I do for all of my speed builds. And then, because I thought it would be absolutely adorable, I decided to include some decoy ducks in this little pond area here by putting the little puddle code down and then putting some of the ducks down beside it. I think that it always looks so cute, and I've seen tons of other people do this before, so it's not like it's my original idea. Trust me, tons of people have done this prior to me, but I think that it looks absolutely adorable, and it's a perfect use of a couple of the empty spaces that I decided to leave in the little lakes. here I was just extending the path on the other side of the bridge. I decided that in a future build, I really want to include one of the villagers' houses at the end of this path, so you will see me extend the path over to the third tier cliff at the very right hand side where Dobie's house is. I don't know whose house I want to include there yet, but I thought it'd be a really cute little spot to put a villager's house. I also decided to include a couple of the extras that come with the pathing. So like you can see the little code that kind of like peeks through the path to the grass. I initially wasn't going to get any of those codes because I didn't want to waste the extra space for my codes, but I think that they add so much more to the path, and I'm actually really glad that I picked them up because I think that they look a lot more natural and they give the dirt paths more like a realistic look. And here I decided to include the little 4-square like kind of stump path I decided to grab. I think using them on the edge of cliffs looked really cute, and I definitely will be using this a lot more in the future. And I haven't ultimately decided what flowers I want to use on my island. At the time being, I'm mainly using mums, hyacinths, tulips, and some lilies. That might change, and I might start including other ones too. I think I'm using some cosmos as well. But the color scheme you will kind of see is staying the same, using a lot of whites and blacks and greens, and keeping the area very like natural. So here I was terraforming a little island in the middle of the pond because I decided that I wanted to include a tree here. I've seen other people do this and I think that it looks really nice and adds a little bit more height and dimension to the space. So I was just terraforming the island big enough to fit it, and I think that it looks so cute. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use a cedar or a regular tree here, but I think the cedar one looks really nice. And then later on I add a couple of additional items to kind of fill the space in a little bit more. So I was just kind of running around the area deciding where I wanted to put this little stump path because I wanted to place it kind of sporadically throughout the area, not too much, but just a couple of places here and there just to kind of fill the space up a little bit more. So I added a little hyacinth lamp over here where I put the little tree on the island, and I think that it looks super cute. Don't know why I'm mentioning that, but I really like the way that it looked. Here I decided I wanted to put a little bench to kind of like have like a spot that overlooks the water, and I had to move some things around to fit it because I wanted to include the fencing in front of it, so I was just moving a couple things around to make it work. I honestly can't tell you guys what the theme of my island is right now. I'm kind of going for a mix of cottage and forest core because I really like the natural look of the forest core, but I love the cluttered items and the decorating of cottage core, so you will definitely see me mixing and matching both. So I just skipped the next day because it was getting a little bit dark as the sun was setting, and I wanted it to be bright and sunny as I was decorating. So here I was putting down some items and some trees on the top of the waterfalls. I wasn't sure how much decorating I ultimately wanted to do at the top of the waterfalls because I didn't want them to look too cluttered, but I also didn't want to leave them very bare either. So including a couple of trees and some mush items and the log stakes, as well as obviously flowers and weeds and things, I think really filled the areas up nicely. Please let me know what you guys think. I was just messing around with some of the furniture because I wanted to make sure that the items and the colors looked really nice together, so I was just moving a couple of them around until I was happy with it. And then here at the very edge of the cliff, I decided I wanted to include another tree, so I just quickly had to cut down this one. Of course, there was a wasp's nest, so I had to quickly run away, and thankfully Filbert was home, so I was able to escape the wasps and I didn't get stung. As I previously mentioned, I'm going to be extending the river out here, so I didn't want to do too much with this area, but I definitely wanted to include a tree on the edge of this cliff just to give the area a little bit more space and dimension, and I really like the way that it turns out. I also think including the stump path here on like the edge of cliffs by only using 2 of the 4 codes looks really cute and definitely makes the dirt and the space feel a lot more natural and real. So that's a cute little trick that I've seen a couple of people do, and I will definitely be utilizing on my island as well. got the update last night, and I just quickly stopped to head into Nooks and grab the new reactions, and here's just me celebrating with the little Nook boys. I think these new reactions are so cute, and I hope you guys try them out as well because they are a lot of fun. So I just quickly terraformed this cliff to extend it a little bit because I decided I wanted to include a swinging bench over in the corner here, and I just need a little bit more space to do it. So I decided to put this dirt path down underneath it, and then I placed down a swinging bench and a mush stool beside it, and I think that it looks super cute. I just wanted a little additional seating area, and I think it's really cute and quaint. Then quickly made a few green leaf piles, and we're throwing them down around the area. I really wanted to include one on the bridge, but unfortunately the bridge size with the logs was too small, so I'm definitely gonna have to find another way to include them on like a little more natural bridge because I think that looks really nice. So I just placed a couple of them down just to kind of like fill the space in a little bit more, and I think now that it's finally spring, decorating with the green leaf piles is the perfect little finishing touch to add a little bit more to the area. At this point, I was basically done. I was just running around to make sure that I was happy with everything, and adding a few finishing touches here and there to just finish the build up. Just want to say that using the mats, like the mushrooms, the pine cones, the acorns as little decorations, just look so insanely cute and just add a little bit more naturalness to the space. So I just threw a couple of those down, and then we were done with the build. So I just hopped over to the next day, and it appears we had a campsite visitor, so I just quickly went over and saw who it was. It was Poppy. We weren't gonna take him, but I think that he's super cute, and I really love him and his character design. So we just quickly said hello, and now we're on to the big reveal. Okay guys, the build is finished, and I am super excited to show you guys the finishing product. So without further ado, let's go. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to like and let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video and would like to see more from me, please don't hesitate to subscribe as well. I would love to have you as a part of my little community that we're building here on YouTube. So that's everything for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!